Hey guys, welcome back to Easeldoesitstudio. So my wire came in, and then I went to order another gauge, and I ordered another 20 gauge. I wanted to order 18, and I ordered 20. So we've got 16 and 20 gauge, and I have another 20 gauge coming in. So I'm gonna have to order some 18. So let me see. I think we're going to try the 16 for trying to replicate this ring. This was made with really thin wire, but I've got to say, guys, it has held its shape really good. And this, I had this ring on when I was struggling with that that polyurethane bottle, and it did not come out of shape. So we're going to try with the thicker gauge, and if it doesn't work, then I'll do it with the 20 gauge, or I'll find a thicker wire here. But this is this brand, Zeus jewelry wire, and it's supposed to be tarnish resistant. So we will see. Once I can master some of these techniques, I will be ordering the stainless steel, or the sterling silver rather, because you know, I know that that is the best, but for now, where I'm just learning, so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get my wire straight. And I can't remember. All right, we're going to go with about 14 inches. And I think that's going to be too much, but I might try something a little different. So we're just going to go with a longer piece of this. And I'm going to use I don't know. We might use it. We'll probably end up doing two. If I can get through this one on video, we'll maybe do another one, depending on the time. Like I said, I'm just learning. I literally have only made two pieces, this ring and this wonky bracelet that keeps wanting to go to the side. But that's okay, because I've got more ideas for bracelets as well. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is get my, my thingy, you know, the thingy with the ringies right here in front of my face. So I have another one of these coming. These are bail makers, and it has these bails on the other side as well. So I do have a set of those coming, but today we're only going to need this one. And I think the bead that I'm going to use today is going to be this little amethyst, because it's my birthstone. And that is about a 6 millimeter. So that is what we're going to do. So I'm going to take my looper, and let's just try to get this. All right, so right there is the middle. So I'm going to use the bigger one, and we are just going to fold that over, and then we're just gonna continue it around so that our wires are going straight out, and that will fit right in there. So I'm gonna make another, I'm gonna go around it a second time, just to give us a little bit more. And I'm just moving my, my plier things. And so we have that. So now our bead will sit on here. So I'm going to take, I don't know what size gauge this is, but it's a little bit thinner than that, but thicker than this. So I don't know, I'm going to take maybe 6 inches, which I know is too long. I'd rather have too much than not enough, especially just starting out. So we're going to feed this through our bead like that. And that is going to sit right on there. So what I need to do now is take my mandrel, and I believe this one stayed true to size. So I'm going to try making this a 6. So you can see the number 6 on the mandrel. And I am going to fold that over, holding that on the 6. And one of your wires is going to stay to the top, and the other wire is going to stay to the bottom. And what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? I forgot to flatten that, is what I forgot. All right, so let me just see if I can make it smaller, and I will, let me spread this out a little bit. And just see if we can pull these in a little bit. And you want to make sure that you're keeping everything as straight as possible. Okay. So let's try this again. Now I've done it. Now I've gone and done it. All right, we're going to start over. We are going to start over. All right. I should have probably made another one off camera first, so I remembered what I did. Okay. So I'm going to take this. This also helps straighten your wire out, but it also helps firm your wire. So we're gonna, right about here is the halfway point. So I want that, yeah, I want that laying down, not standing up. I think that's right. I'm gonna just straighten this out real quick so I can use this as a practice piece. So let me make a loop over here. Okay. And then if we lay this down this way, and I'll just do it up at the top to see, yeah. Okay, that's what I did wrong. So we want to lay this down on the 6. I'm going to hold it with my thumb, and I'm just going to bend until we come to the top. And then I'm going to take this one and see how it's going on the bottom. We're going to bend that. We're going to cross right over, bringing that back down. And we're going to bring this back down over here. So this one's going to be a little bit of a different style. I can already see. And we're just going to bring these out sideways. Okay. So it'll be a little bit of a different design, which is totally fine. Okay, now it's a 6, but it's actually I'm going to push this down a little bit more. And then this is going to sit on the ring. And let me hold the wire and the ring, and I'm going to bring it down towards the front. All right, so let's see, we had this, and we brought this down towards the front here. And then this one, get that in the center, and get that moving out. And I'm going to move this to this side. All right. Oh, this design is being fiddly. All right, so let me get this one wrapped. We're going to wrap this around these two things. So that way it's kind of staying in place. Now, my first ring, I had maybe because I had just watched a video, I had like no problem. I went right through that, no problem. But, you know, because when we're trying to video something, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just feed that through there for me already. There we go. And then I'm going to take this and I want to feed it up through in between, right in there. All right, I am going to cut some of this because this is way too long. Okay, so now I can feed that back up through. And I'm going to take my flat ones here. I'm going to push that down just a smidge. You want these to be nice and tight and even. And you want to make sure that your band is also not crossing over. All right, so I'm going to pull that underneath. I'm going to flatten that, squeeze that in, squeeze underneath. And then we're gonna, and you want to cut on the flat part, and that's going to give you a flat cut. So I'm just going to unravel that a bit. And I'm going to snip right about there. And then we're going to tuck that sharp end in. I do want to straighten this out first. And then I'll take this and just flatten that out a bit. Okay, no sharp spots. Okay, so this one is going to just wrap around this one side. So look at that. I came up with my own new design. So in however many loops that you have on this side, like we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got to make 4 on this side so that they match. And that's the last loop. So I'm just trying to tighten that as I'm bringing that around. And we will smash that little end. And then what I'll do after is I'll go through with my Dremel with the sander thing on it, just to make sure that there's no, all right, so. So we want our wires straight out. That's going to be more of a, well, it's a 7, but I think once we put our wraps in, so I want to line this up so that it's in the center of my stone. And this is where we're going to pull our band together. Let me get another pair of pliers. So you want all 4 of your pieces really flat and together. And then, let me see, I'm right-handed, so, and hold it down as far as you can in the jaw because you have more more grip. Hang on here. Okay, so we're going to wrap this around you know what, let me take a different pair of pliers. I need something that has way more grip. Yeah, I think that'll be better. Okay. And like I said, this is a thicker gauge wire than I used to make the first ring too. So and I'm going to take these and we're going to kind of smush that down. Start getting that closed. And we're just going to do, I think, 2 loops on. Hang on, I got my wires overlapping here. This needed to go on this side. That's why I was having a hard time getting it down there. Okay. And then I'm gonna bring this back around underneath so I can tuck that little piece in the underneath part. And I'm gonna take these. So yeah, your first time, definitely use a thinner gauge wire because it was way, way easier. I cut it a little shorter than I wanted. Okay. So we're going to flip this over. And make sure it's lined up. And then we are going to feed this through. Come on. And make sure this one's laying beside the first one, not on it. And pulling that through tight. Straightening my band back out. And we've got 3. So I'm going to just bring that around and I'm going to snip it after I squeeze them tight. Okay, so, and this ring has definitely gotten smaller. It definitely has gotten smaller. So I am going to snip this one right here. There. All right, now let's put it on. We're at a 5, but I'm going to take my plastic hammer thing here. And we're just gonna, because these are definitely way, way bigger than, I'm just gonna squeeze those down just a smidge. And then we're just gonna God, I can't even give this ring to anybody because I don't even know anybody that has. Oh, we're almost at a 7, so that enlarged it quite a bit. And there we have it. Phew. That was a struggle, but overall, I like the look of it. I do want to just play with the angle. Like one side is higher than the other. There we go. So I will definitely have to sand that little corner there, but that is my second design. Look at that, I made my own. Alrighty, so I am gonna try another one. Just give me a minute to figure out what I'm using. I am going to switch and we're gonna use the, let me see how thick this is compared to this one. Because I don't know what gauges these are. Oh, so this is still thicker than what I used here. So, I think those are about the same. So we'll try it with the 20 gauge. So let me just figure out what I'm going to use for a bead and all that, and I will be right back. Okay. So one thing I figured out, this was probably an 8mm bead. That's a 6mm bead. So there's a difference. But I went back and watched the video where I learned how to make this ring. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's all I was screwing up. So we're going to go back to the 16 gauge because I want the ring structure itself to still be strong. So we're going to go with like 12 inches. All right. I'll get this sooner or later, guys. All right. I've watched like so many different, because I love rings. So I'm like, well, I can just make my own. All right. So we're going to get that as straight as we can. And then we're going to go in with our so 12, right about 6, and we're going to make our loop just like we did on the last one. You're going to be like, are you kidding me? One stupid little mistake, but I created a really nice ring. I really like the pattern of it. Now, if I wore it on this finger, I'd need to make it a little bit smaller because I need a 6 on this finger and I need an 8 on these two. All right, so we have our thing. Let's make sure our bead does not fall through, and it does not. All right, so I'm going to take 4 inches of, nope, that's the wrong one, of this one. You're going to be like, it was that easy? Yeah. So I'm going to have to get some new ones of these too, because either that or get another plastic thing for this side. I mean, since they're just for me, I'm not going to worry too much about getting my wire exactly, but if I were to sell them, I would. All right. So we've got our wire, we've got it sitting on our hole. We're going to hold it like this. And we are going to wrap this. And I'm going to do 3 times around. We're going to snip at the bottom. Okay. And then we're going to turn this over. Now, I could have bent these wires, which I probably should have, to come up, like be in the middle, but I'm not going to. So we're going to take this one and we are going to wrap it around this side. And what did I do? 3. So we'll do 3. just want to squeeze them together. And flush cut that. No sharp edges at all. Okay. I was doing an extra step that I didn't need to do. Okay, so we're going to put this right on the 6. Comes in the front, and this one wraps around the back. Just like that. Let me see where I'm at for a number. All right, so we're gonna I'm just trying to pull those tighter. And okay, that's about a 6. And then we're going to do the same on the bottom as we did on the other ring. Okay, we're at between a 6.5 and a 7. So I'm just going to squeeze these 4 together, trying to get them centered again. Squeeze them together. And just going to slowly I'm trying to keep those from moving. That. I'm going to take another pair. Oh, I'm going to get my ring back where it's supposed to be. We're going to do 2 on that side, and then I'm going to try to snip it so it will be so we can tuck it in there. And then I'll sand that. Okay. And all right, now let's just reshape this a smidgen. Let's put it on our mandrel. And almost got it to the 6. Because once you put these backs in, so this gauge is definitely 18, I think would be the most we should go. Unfortunately, I don't have that because I screwed up and ordered the wrong one, but there we have our second ring. But see how I like the shank size better on this one than this one, even though this one was still strong. And this one was in the middle, whereas this one is off to one side. So that's, you know, the difference there. But, you know, you can do them either way. It's just a matter of personal preference. And this doesn't feel chunky. It looks chunky, but it's not. But I like this look better. So, yeah, it definitely... the 20 gauge, I think, is definitely going to be a better tool. So I'm just going to do one more really quick with the thinner wire. And now that I've made this one, I should be able to make this next one much quicker. Because now it's fresh in my brain. Okay, so we'll go about a 6. And I'm going to use a smaller one, so I'm going to go up to the middle one. And wrap it like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right here. Let's come down a little bit more here. And then we're just going to flick that out. So it's kind of like in the middle. All right, if I put it on here, then I should be able to hold it better. And then we'll just turn this way. So there, they're kind of like in the middle now. Just straighten that. There, okay. And let me see. I have a little blue bead. I don't have many beads, so yeah, that'll work. And then I'm just gonna take another 4 inches. I got too many tools out. Put that right on there. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we'll flip this over. And we're gonna wrap this one on this side. I'll just go around 1, 2, and 3. These little skinny ones. There we go. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to start this one on a 7. I just want those down a little bit. All right, so I'll go to the 7. There we go. All right. See how much easier it is when you're not struggling with the wire. Okay, and then no sharp edge, flip it over. Let me move this back down so I can grip it firmer. Okay. See how much quicker that went? And I got my things spaced out fairly good. Let's just give this a little bit of a hammer to strengthen it. So that's about a 7.5. And there we have it. So we made 3 rings today. So I'm probably going to make a bunch of these so I can really like get the hang of it. And then I will move on to a different style. Like I could get that on that finger if I really wanted to, because it's just my knuckle that's big. Hang on. No, let me take some pictures first and then I will cram it on my finger. Oh. So yeah. I would just need it a little bit bigger. But yeah, so yeah, if you like this video, let me know. I definitely am going to be doing more of these, and I definitely want to work on some bracelets as well. I'm probably going to end up taking a trip to Michael's and getting some different gauge wire so that I have, you know, what I want. So I'm just trying to re-angle that just a smidge. Let's see if I can get it to an 8. I don't even know what these little gem beads are. All right, we got it to an 8. So now it will fit. Yeah. So now I have 3 different colors and I got a big chunky one. So I like this size, but it is definitely, I'll do more rings with it, but not with this type of a wrap at the bottom. So yeah, I'm going to think of some different designs because I definitely like the size of that wire better. But, you know, these are more dainty for those, you know, real petite people. So yeah, I will get you some pictures. I have ring thingies and stuff, but I don't know where they are. So they'll probably just be propped up on something, but I will get you some close-ups. And I'm not feeling anything sharp. This one, I'm going to do the edges just to be on the cautious side. Because you guys all know I have already issues with my hands, so there, that's better. All right, that's not sharp. Let's just snip this off a little bit more. It seems like if you snip them on the edge, they get sharp. Because I hammered that, am I going to even be able to? Get that up. There we go. So in amongst all this mess, we managed to at least come up with another ring design. Now, whether I can replicate it or not is another story. All right, I'm gonna have to sand that little piece down, but yeah. Alrighty, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. And yeah, these are our No, these are our designs. This one and these two. This was my very first one, and I didn't struggle half as much. So, yeah. Alrighty, guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.